When recapping from last video where I responded to X posts on the Twitter feed of, the concept of nicotine, I have a little bit of something to go over, and that has to do with that person that said, and it's in the thumbnail of that video, and it said, nicotine grounds me and gives me immense root chakra energy. And I had already said that may be your perceived reality, but tell me what happens when you go without that nicotine, when you're immediately not forced but faced with the reality of needing to ground in that new space without the nicotine. And not only that, but I said, and the root chakra has a lot to do with going without desires and fulfilling them as a balance. And like I said, who's to say that fulfillment of that root chakra is actually right for your mental, emotional, physical, and spiritual state of being that you are in? Who's to say that always having that root chakra fulfilled at all times is giving you an advantage, helping you in any way when it comes to benefiting the state of being that you are in? So there may be things that you can use it for, but simply that is no reason to defend an action. Is just by saying, oh, casually, it does this for me, it keeps me, essentially valified at all times, So that's just something that I wanted to stick to on that. And when they say, oh, it gives me immense root chakra energy, I think that, to be honest, that's something that someone can see from a third-party perspective and see that this person is heavily fulfilled or heavily vibrating in regards to their root chakra. And as seeing it from someone who's not constantly using an external artificial way or means of fulfilling that chakra, or whatever you want to call it, it would mean that that person is just liking to be in that state. That person just continuously wants to be in that state of, oh, if I'm not getting verification or fulfillment when it comes to those energies with what's going on externally or with what I'm involved with, then I'm going to continuously use this to now fulfill that, and to now use this action as a way to, and a means to always have that fulfilled. So you got to take that into perspective and realize that that is the reality of the situation. And now we get into some more posts that we're going to respond to. Starting off with, it's this one right here. Oh, it's not pointing. It's this one right here. This whole thing right here. You can pause it and check that out. If you can't, just read it. But so they said, I know I should quit nicotine one day because it's so horrible for you, but shit like this makes me never want to quit, bruh. And then they said, a screenshot, it says, I would have killed myself, but maybe that's just me and my distorted mind. And that if that's a direct response, it's not quite clear if that's a direct response. Maybe it actually is, because it said part 1 point of view, it's only 2 weeks with no nicotine and I've already gained 10 pounds after 7 years of no appetite from vaping. And it's not necessarily that they're just getting the appetite back, it's that, one seems to search in other areas once you go without a substance. So eating apparently is one of those that someone will go to, and it's not just necessarily that, oh, they got their appetite back after 7 years of no appetite from vaping. But anyway, so the person responded to that, saying, I would have killed myself, but maybe that's just me and my disordered mind. Yeah, sure, but the thing is, it's up to that person, and maybe it is your disordered mind, because that person has to be in that situation and realize that, okay, maybe they've gained 10 pounds in 1 week just by going without vaping. Okay, maybe they've been eating foods that are not so ridden on the physical vessel, that are not so, maybe it was the whole foods diet or something like that, and they just so happened to gain 10 pounds. Obviously it wasn't gained of muscle in a week, because it takes time to build 10 pounds of anything. So the fact that they put on 10 pounds is a little bit suspicious, but that's not gonna happen. If anyone's watching this and you're like, oh, I think I'm just trying to learn, I'm trying to understand a little bit about nicotine and whatnot, you will not gain 10 pounds after just a week of going without nicotine. In fact, you'll notice that you'll put on some weight, but it's only initial. It's not like, oh, you just continuously continue on. No, there does become a balance. So that's no worries. And but the person above that said they know that they should quit nicotine one day because it's so horrible for you, but shit like this makes me never want to quit. I'm gonna just respond to this and say, because it's not, I mean, that shouldn't make you never want to quit.
I was crossing the street when I met the
Alright, this is my response here. You guys can pause and check it out, but I'm going to post this and then I'll read it to you. Saying that you should still want to quit, being that you'll only initially gain weight, and once you begin to detach from the nicotine physically, you'll start to become more balanced mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. So that's my response to that first post. Pretty basic post right there, pretty good dialogue. Alrighty, this one, let me see this real quick. I gotta keep remembering to turn the music back up after the ads, hold on. All right. You can pause that and just read that real quick. It doesn't make much sense, but it says quitting smoking has health benefits at any age, no matter how long or how much you have smoked. 24 hours after you have had your last cigarette, the nicotine level in the blood drops to 0. Interesting that they said 24 hours because I'm pretty sure it does take a bit more than that in order to completely rid your blood of that substance. But let's just not even care about how specifically it's out of your blood or whatnot. Sure, that physically is it leaving your body, and that's how you can tell. But this post is right about quitting smoking, how it has health benefits at any age. That's right, they said no matter how long you've smoked. And going without a substance is always going to have its benefits. My response right here. And I responded saying, that's right, going without a substance that is affecting one in unfavorable ways always has its benefits, not only to health, but also mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. It has its health benefits, like detaching from that substance, getting non-dependent on that substance when it comes to physically, and also, let's talk nicotine specifically, lungs, blood, endothelial tissue, which has to do with your muscles and stuff that it can have an effect on. It can have an effect on anything when it comes to health-related aspects. It could be a skew of things, but when it comes to mentally, what are some of the benefits of going without a substance that is affecting one in unfavorable ways? Is mentally gaining that freedom, gaining that mental space to now act as you wish and not be so mentally dependent on a substance. When it comes to emotionally, you're more now looking at deriving emotional fulfillment out of experiences outside of artificial things that are aimed to allow you to just feel a specific way. It's more as if you will be emotionally independent of that substance, being able to be and exist in an emotionally balanced and emotionally free space. And spiritually, of course, is valuing the time and valuing your body in order to continue on growing and continue on, developing and expanding your spiritual system, developing and expanding your spiritual perspective through the experiences that you're having, that you're experiencing. You are a spirit in a body experiencing this. So therefore, spiritually, that is going to put you into a completely different space of spiritually and a different path when it comes to spiritually. Next song. Next post right here. I'll respond to this one real quick. It's this right here. You can pause and check it out if you want. But they said week 1 of Amber and Spencer quit nicotine. We now have insatiable sugar cravings at bedtime because we used to go out and smoke before bed. I said, rest assured, there's no need to include sugar in place of past nicotine use. Let yourself drift away, acknowledging the hard work you put in to detach from nicotine. You know, I didn't have to respond to that at all. I don't believe, but I know that the reason I did respond to that is so those people can have a different perspective on, oh, should we continue, going out and buying a bunch of ice cream right before bed, or going to the freezer and just eating piles and piles of sugar, as they said, sugar cravings, but rather just find other ways to, other actions in place of the past nicotine use. Next one, they're making it too easy for us tonight. We got this one right here, right below it. Nicotine, can't quit it.
At Fry's, we know the minute a tomato is picked.
No ads. My response right here. My response to that: you can quit nicotine just as easily as the decision you made to create this post. All it takes is making the decision to bettering your reality if that's in your cards. Gonna send it. Moving on. Next one. Alright, so Scream555, Screama555 said, every now and then, I'm trying my hardest to quit nicotine. That sounds good to me. That's where I was at one point. I can't actually reply to this, but this is a certain specific post that some of them on, most of you know it as Twitter, but renamed to X, the app that was bought by Elon Musk and renamed this. There's for some reason an option where you can't reply to some specific posts. And this is one of those posts, so I'm just going to say that this person needs to, and if you're in this space by chance, you know, if you understand the perspective, or if you can relate to the perspective of every now and then I'm trying my hardest to quit nicotine, then it is the right thing to continue on trying your hardest to quit nicotine, because each time you try, you become more and more closer to having that success and having that that change in your actions by making that decision. So continue on. This person's already on the right path, and if it's in their cards for them and they know mentally that they're having thoughts and that they can confirm their mental state of being would benefit from going without nicotine, if they can confirm and realize that there's things that the nicotine, or let's say any substance, is having them react to, and that they can benefit from when it comes to physically bettering their physical state of being, and if this is going to be something that's going to help them become emotionally balanced and not emotionally dependent on a substance or something outside of themselves to fulfill their emotional state of being, and that can benefit their emotional state of being, then this person will find that motivation to do so. And they will come to find out the spiritual space that they will move into once they have put themselves on this new path. All right. No. This person said, should I quit vaping and return to cigarette-only nicotine consumption? Some of these in this thread, man, let me tell you. And woman, let me tell you. They should just quit nicotine. I don't understand why someone would go from vaping to nicotine and talk about it as if they're quitting.
credit cards automatically double.
Here's my response right here. You can pause it and check it out, but I'm going to read it like I always do. Should I quit vaping and return to cigarette-only nicotine consumption is what this person said. My response to it is, should you use nicotine in either form, ? In what ways does nicotine consumption benefit your state of well-being? I can understand if someone were to say, oh, it makes me have good thoughts, It makes my body feel good. It makes me feel good. I have good feelings when I use nicotine. Or it's something that is in my life, and on this journey of life, I've come across it and have accepted it into my reality. Sure, that's just something that someone can say, but we need to be very, very specific of, are we just saying things to validate our actions? And I'm not looking for a reaction.